Hey everyone, and welcome to Scouts Tarot, where curiosity and the divine combine. So this is the September reading for Gemini. We are going to do a fun 3-card spread. This is for Sun, Moon, Rising, and potentially Venus, should the reading align in a romantic direction. All right, so 3-card spread. So the energy's going into September, the energy's throughout September, and then the energy's going into October. So we shall see how that cookie crumbles. Okay, oh my God. All right, we're gonna try this all over again because that was like 7 cards at once. That wasn't cool. All right, so I apologize for the harsh lighting. There's no light on the right side of my living room, unfortunately. So we are stuck with what we got for now. But, I mean, shadow puppets are fun too. Okay, so we have the 3-card spread. Then I will clarify with 3 different oracle decks for each energy going into, throughout, and out of the month. All right, Gemini, so let's see what we're working with. I am in my magic, spiritually aligned. Ooh, what are the energies? Celestial, divine. So we got our first card. All right, let's see. The energy going into September, energies throughout September, and then lastly, the energy ending September, going into October. Where are we at, universe? Okay, straight up. Bam. Oh my goodness, Lord have mercy. We is just all over the place. All right, so, okay, and I know that the angles of this, the angle of my phone is awkward, so I'm going to make sure I get all the cards in, so we'll keep it nice and tight. So energies going into September, Gemini. It is the Ace of Cups. So August may have felt like a divine opportunity may have come down for you, right? Where a project you were working on, a relationship you might be in or trying to cultivate or whatever, just suddenly everything just seems to be coming into place, and it's like, wow, this is nice. Like, you feel good about it. It feels like this can't be right. There's no way. How is my cup runneth over? Like, we still in a pandemic, right? Like, that's the kind of energy that I'm feeling with this, where it's like nothing should be going right now, but for some reason this is. Like, the blessing or the opportunity that this is like, wow, this is great. I am not complaining. I am rejoicing. I'm going to take my cup and I'm just going to sip and I'm going to, enjoy my time in this energy. So this is, fantastic for those, where this energy, resonates with. Like, lean into it. This is great. Like, it's been tough out here, like, for air signs, all signs, honestly. Like, it has not been easy. So the energy going into September, you could be riding on this, fulfillment, this blessing, this emotional, gift that you've received. And yeah, it could be related to a relationship, 100%. It could be a project that you were working on. You're like, wow, this was amazing. Y'all see how good this was? Like, damn, like, whatever it is, it's like you are riding this wave going into September, where it's like, Lord have mercy. Don't question the gift, just take it. And so now the energy in September, Gemini, is the 4 of Swords, which may be like, whew, all right, that was a trip. That was okay. We did something out there. This was beautiful. We put in some work. This was magical. I'm gonna need to take a second and just rest up for a bit. And this could be like meditation, like time to yourself, just sleeping more, things like that. Like, you just need a minute to just whew, that was good. That was great. I just need some time to think on it, because, especially Gemini being such a mental sign, you have a tendency to be in your head. So you may in fact be double thinking this, overthinking this, be like, but wait, I mean, is that true? Should I trust that this was good? Oh God. In September is child, take a break, right? Lean into, you see at the top of the card here. Let me lower this because I know I have a tendency to shift the card out of view. you got like your stained glass feel here, right? So this is like a church environment, a religious environment, a spiritual environment where it's like, maybe I just rest in my head for a little while, right? Let's just put these thoughts up for right now. Like they're at the ready should I need them. Let me just go horizontal for a bit and take a minute to just like collect my thoughts, to get some extra sleep, to just rest. So September it could be a good time for reflection on what you've done, but also just being at peace with it, right? Be like, wow, that was great. I am just so appreciative of this, and I'm going to take a minute for me. So it could be that you're pulling back for a little while. Maybe you're not hanging out as much with folks. Or maybe you're not taking on as much work because you're like, wow, this was fantastic. I love this. Rather than overthinking or you're trying to duplicate it or whatever it is, let me just take a minute and be with me. And then our third card is the 10 of Cups. So again, this is the energy, Gemini, going from September into October. And this is just like, yeah, this was good. This was good shit. Yeah, this was great. Like whatever, like this energy going into September was like fantastic. And you rested up. You're like, damn, that shit was good. Like we really nailed it. Like this is joy. This is fulfillment. This is satisfaction. This is like, not only did I complete the circle, but like we got rainbows. Like this is unicorns, glitter, sparkles, angels. We got the thing. We did it. Like all the work that got you into this place, where there was a project and it turned out great. You're like, yes, now look at all these other projects that I can take on. Look at all the success that I'm bringing. This is what I wanted. Like this one opportunity has resulted in like, bam, all this other stuff. And you're like, yes, let's do it. If this is relationship related, this could be like, you know, especially because cups are again emotional fulfillment. Like you could have received a cup from somebody like in June or July and that shit was empty. You're like, bro, or sis, like, whatever it is, like it didn't line up, and then suddenly this new cup comes in, or suddenly you look back at that cup and you're like, what's in that cup now? Okay, I can do that. That's tasty. And you get into you know, going through the month of September, reflecting on it, taking a minute for yourself, resting up a little bit, not taking on new stuff, not questioning the gift that this cup was, right? And you're going into October, you're like, yes, this was the cup for me. This is a blessing. This is fulfillment. I know that I put in this work to build this family, to build up my success. This is just like jump for joy over the rainbow. Like we did it. We got there. Which is, that is some great energy, man. Like September is going to be like, girl, just take a break. Like take a second. Like, bruh, you don't need to do all that. You could just be chill. And then October, going into October, you're like, you're right. Let's do it. This was great. Let's keep going. Okay, so let's get is this upside down? Yes, it is. Our first clarifier deck, and that is Oracle of the 7 Energies. So this is going to be for the Ace of the Cups, for the energy that was going into September out of August. So I'm in my magic, spiritually aligned. What energy should Gemini focus on going into September? Celestial divine. What is we working with? Ooh, excuse me, sorry. Please remember that, you know, that this reading won't resonate for everyone. And if it does, fantastic. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Especially if you're like, yes, this was a gift. If you're feeling it, feel it, lean into it. All right. Celestial divine, what advice do we have for dear Gemini? Solo uno card, por favor. All right. So sometimes when it takes a while for the Oracle decks to deliver a card, usually that's because the energy that you need to focus on is a heavy one, right? It's an overarching one. It's a big theme card. It's something that you may have been dealing with for a while, or it's a big feeling, a big energy, and you're like, maybe next month, like maybe December, we'll worry about this. So sometimes that's why it takes a while for, at least as I read the cards, why it may take a while for this energy to come out. All right, it's focus up, Celestial Divine. Let's see what we can deliver to dear sweet Gemini. Solo, no. Or more than one. We'll take more than one oracle deck or oracle card. Wouldn't be the first time. And you guys are Gemini, so, ooh, geez. A double card wouldn't be unsurprising. Or actually surprising. All right, so let me get this in the frame. Close Encounters, number 10. Ooh. So let's see what that is. And I do refer to the book because I like to be efficient in my explanation. So Close Encounters. So this is your energy around the Ace of Cups going into September, Gemini. So this is vulnerability as a strength, letting others see your wounds as well as your strengths, and setting healthy boundaries. And I want to get a little bit deeper, so I'll read a little more. This is a time of connection that asks for you to be vulnerable and authentic. Let go of any social masks or constructs you use to keep yourself apart from others. Lower your shields and allow yourself to step into a dance of intimacy. When you become close to people, you remind yourself that you are not alone. You're part of a beautiful, meaningful bond. At a deep spiritual level, there are so many lessons offered to you in this closeness. At a social level, intimate relationships help you ignite the spark of life that is the power of affinity. You flourish as a result of offering emotional honesty, a true desire for equality, love, friendship, and laughter. Oof. All right, so Ace of Cups. What were we talking about? I mean, this is, who we kidding? This is definitely leaning into some love here. But Ace of Cups also can represent like opportunity, right? It is an emotional opportunity. This is a chance to connect with somebody differently, and it may feel like it's out of the blue, right? That it just like happens to come about. And you know, butterflies, to me, like, butterflies don't necessarily like, you know, they're not always around. They come at you like sometimes out of surprise, and then whoops, there it goes. Yeah, sometimes they'll hang around and all that jazz, but generally when you encounter a butterfly, it feels like it's by chance. You're like, oh wow, look. And it's that moment of like, that's beautiful. Or, if you're afraid. My young cousin is afraid of butterflies. But in any case, that is the energy that I'm picking up here, is that there was an opportunity here, right? Like in the month of August, and especially as you're leaning into September, of like that moment of like, wow, that's beautiful. This moment of connection that it revealed, you know, that vulnerability in you. And maybe at first you were like, I'm not doing that. Cause you know, Geminis were, yeah, I'm a Gemini too. We're going to lean in. Geminis aren't necessarily known for their emotional vulnerability. Generally, they lean into like, you know, words as ways of expressing their romantic feelings and intimacy. Not all, but in some cases, Geminis are not as equipped to deliver romantic feelings outside of like language and thought and, you know, making jokes and stuff like that. Okay, let's bring that back. So I think there may have been that moment when this opportunity, this emotional chance to express yourself came about, that it may have been because you allowed yourself to let that guard down, right? To release your butterfly from that cage to go and flit about as it wants to. And someone took notice of that. And say if it's not in a romantic sense, say if it's in like a new project or something along those lines, some creative expression or endeavor that you had, and you're like, okay, even though this is outside my wheelhouse and I don't like, you know, having to display my work in front of people that I don't know, whatever it might have been, or putting my products on, you know, a table for other people to gawk at, whatever it might be, that you were like, you know what, let's do it. Let's just lean into it. And you put yourself in a vulnerable position, and it paid off. Like, thank the gods. But yeah, it paid off. And so now, as we're leaning into September, let's try to figure out, let's ask the universe what that energy is looking like. And I'm going to put a bookmark with that card. So now we're going to use the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms Tarot to describe the energies for September. So we'll lower that. We'll put these two back at the top. So I'm in my magic, spiritually aligned. All right, let's stay in order here. What energies does Gemini need to focus on throughout September? Celestial Divine. Midnight Magic, spiritually aligned. What energies does Gemini need to embody, harness, lean into in the month of September? Celestial Divine. In that Close Encounters card, like only because this thought just came back to me. Because it took so long for that card to come up, remember it's like that, it's a bigger energy, a harder energy, something you might not want to deal with right now. Being emotionally vulnerable is not easy for any sign, any person. But for those of us who are more in our heads, who feel with our words and our thoughts and are more likely to like not talk about these things or keep it to ourselves or like, play it off, or our partner has to like drag it out of us and stuff like that. Like putting yourself in that space is not easy for you. And so there's a good chance that by doing that, you're like, whew, I'm a little exhausted. I may need to take a minute and reflect on, how hard that was. Like, gee willikers. God, I never thought I'd put myself in that space. And now you're trying to take a moment to grow from that space. So taking a second, exhale, meditate, go on a walk, whatever it is that you need to do to like take a second. The universe, hopefully, that's what these cards will show us, that that's the energy that you need to embody to get to that space. Like, what do you need to do in order to either feel that out or, oh, geez, okay, just throw yourself out to me, why don't you? Okay, which is actually what I want, so thank you. We have the Sacred Union. Ooh, yes. This is number 27. Okay, that's not, here we go. So again, emotionally vulnerable place, not an easy trip to make, but you got there, but now you're exhausted. And so the Sacred Union is all about beautiful, true partnership. It shows you that Spirit is listening and is always by your side, helping you co-create your greatest desires and manifest your destiny. When you receive this card, know that you're never alone on your path. Partnership with the divine is yours whenever you need help. The Sacred Union also represents the coming together of all kinds of harmonious alliances, friendships, family, business, and of course, romance. No matter what the form, this message pertains to the value of partnership and reminds you to observe the gifts bestowed upon you by the Sacred Union. This is a very positive omen, according to the book. That wasn't just me. But yeah, this totally aligns with what we were saying here, right? By putting yourself, okay, everybody work together. By putting yourself in a vulnerable space and allowing your emotional side to be visible, accessible, or, especially again, in terms of romantic relationship or potential, maybe you're pining for someone or they're, asking you about how you feel and you're like, ugh, like, must you? And you finally say, fine, I'll do it. And you tell them that moment that came through, whether it was before the moment, before you let yourself be vulnerable and you put yourself on display, or it came after by putting yourself in an emotional vulnerable space, that blessing a blessing in the form of a message that came through was that emotional like moment. Again, if this is in the form of a project, it's like, great. You put yourself in that space. Other people got to view how great you are, how amazing you are. And now you can take the time to rest. And that energy is like recognizing that the divine is seeing that in you too, that you did a big thing here, Gemini. You did some things. And the universe did not ignore that. It's like, yes, you did. We saw it. Don't worry. It's coming. Like we working on it. In the Sacred Union, it is about, partnering, yes, with another person, a business, family member, whatever it might be. But it can also be about partnering with your higher self, right? And by recognizing that what you did, that putting yourself in a space where, someone, I hate to be like someone else was in control, but like where you kind of allowed yourself to be visible in, giving somebody else the opportunity to see the real you, or putting yourself in a space where you got to display yourself, whether it was your passion, your words, your work, whatever it might be, your love, that you now have an opportunity to go back and reflect and, like I said, like grow in that, to be like, oh my God, yes, this was it. I did it. Wow, that was big. That was big, Gemini. Oh man, who knew? Who knew? In the universe is like, we knew, babes. It's coming. Don't you even worry. That partnership, that matchup, that alignment with yourself did not go unnoticed. And so now, all right, we'll slide you down, we slide you down, and now we were focused on our 10 of Cups. So this is the energy going into October from September. And we are using our Super Attractor card. That is the name of the deck. I didn't make it up. All right, so I'm in my magic, spiritually aligned. What does Gemini need to attract in the month of September going into October? Celestial divine. What energy, what mantra, what word of advice do we have for Gemini going into October? Celestial divine. Okay, jeez Louise. Hey, so remember, we got the 10 of Cups, right? Sorry. Hey, buddy. Okay, so we have, it's good to feel good, because we got our 10 of Cups energy, right? Like you put yourself in a space where the true you got to shine, emotional opportunity to present yourself, in a place where it was a little awkward, it was a little uncomfortable, but it was great. It was successful. That moment was like, that's it. I did it. And now we have a time to reflect on just what that growth looked like. And we can, take that moment to reflect on the progress that we've made. And the universe is like, oh, we see it. We got you. And now as you're going into October, is to recognize that you can continue doing this. You can continue building your wealth here, your emotional fulfillment, your relationship, your business, your family, your projects, whatever it is that you're leaning into here, Gemini. And the universe is like, don't it feel good to feel good? If it's helping you feel emotionally capable of processing the world around you, to intellectually process the projects that you're working on, you feel like this is aligning with, again, that your higher self, the universe would be like, yep, I got you. You're going to continue to feel this way. And so as you are building out your work, the more good you feel, the better this work is going to be, the better this love is going to be. Because the 10 of Cups, yes, it is, in terms of relationships, about like, marriage and joy and happiness, which I'm not complaining. But outside of romance, it is also success. It's the success in what we've invested in. In order to fill up these cups, you got to go in and you got to pour water or wine or whatever you need into these cups in order to get there. And as you're doing that, it's progress, right? You took a chance with the Ace of Cups, and you're like, okay, you said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be emotionally vulnerable. Here we go. And to get into this space in October, you're going to recognize, like, okay, work with me. You're going to recognize, like, oh, wow. Yes, it was awkward and, uncomfortable, but I did it and it was worth it. And that felt good. So the more you lean into these good feelings of being vulnerable and being, able to present your true self to the world, and of course, taking some time to step back, reflect. Geminis, air signs, you need some of that, space, that independence to go back and do you for a little while. The universe will be like, oh, we saw that. We got you. And we're going to make sure that what comes next for you, whether it's in romance or in career and family, passion projects, whatever it is that you got coming down the line in October and so forth, that it's going to find what matches with you. So you can be this, this couple standing here and be like, yep, we got it. We lined up, because it's good to feel good. This is some powerful stuff. This is all out of order. This is all right. Here we go. But yeah, Gemini, this is pretty solid reading in terms of, growth that you've experienced from August to October, or will experience. Because yeah, sometimes it is hard to be vulnerable, especially when trust is hard to come by these days. People make mistakes. So when you're trying to align with either another person or a project, it can be hard when you have to be the one to do that work. But once you've done that work and you reflect on, the mistakes you may have made, or the success that you had, and you take a moment to just, meditate and be in your own energies, the universe has a chance to process that as well. And it's going to find you that partnership, that thing that you need, so you can continue feeling like, wow, this was great. Because again, it's good to feel good. So that's your reading for September, Gemini. These readings they are not ending at 15 minutes. I talk too much. But again, I hope it resonates. If not, feel free to check out October's reading. Maybe that will align as well. If not, keep looking. I mean, YouTube is full of tarot readers. It is insane. But again, what is it? Like, share, subscribe, and some other fun stuff. I do not do personal readings because I am already overworked, because I am also a Gemini, and God forbid I have one job. So I hope this helps, and I will see you in October.